Can you guys hear me now? Is that better? Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Yay. Sick. All
Hell
right,
yeah.
cool, cool, cool. Sorry
Sorry
about
again.
that. Did not realize that I had the output off. Big ups. Seeing.
Shocking.
All right, y'all. So, but yeah, um, guess I'll reintroduce Richie. We got Mr. Richie Wraith here of Impact Sound Engineering. Just want to go ahead and let him introduce himself, let him introduce his company and everything that he's got going on, um, and then we'll get right into the mastering of Mr. Sam Fox's new remix that he. So yeah, we'll get into it.
Yo, Sam Fox up in the chat.
Uh,
Yo, thanks for having me, man. I'm hyped.
of course, of course.
Episode 3. Um, so my name's Richie. I go by Wraith. This is my new mastering company, Impact Sound Engineering. I've been a I've been a creator of music for about 10 years now. Wires right here was actually one of my first collaborators back in the day. I went to Icon Collective. I graduated back in 2013, and one of my professors was Steve Duda, and this guy's just insane at mixing and mastering. And I was very curious about all the techniques that go into it, so I just learned all I could from him and took all that knowledge and furthered it. And yeah, I decided to become a mastering engineer, and I'm also doing drum and bass full time too, and just going back and forth mastering music for clients, being inspired, working on my own tunes, and just back and forth, just living the life. It's been a word of mouth business for like over 5 years now, and I've decided I have a very like prestigious like roster clientele, so I've decided to finally go public, and this is the very beginning of it. I'm over here with Wires to talk to you guys about mastering, uh, going over going over techniques. We're gonna be mastering a tune together, Sam Fox's tune. F in the chats for Sam Fox, and and 30 middle fingers up at him too. But yeah. What else? What else?
Yeah, how about tell me, I guess I know you were talking about having a giveaway for your new company, starting it off, like kind of going public with it all. Why don't you tell the people about how they can get part of the giveaway, what you got going on with it, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So this is my website, Impact Sound Engineering. Right now it's just a landing page because I'm still figuring out the logistics because I'm doing all this by myself. But I'm planning in the next few weeks to do a Odyssey headphone giveaway. Odyssey, they make the the best headphones in the audio industry, and I own a pair. I own a pair of Rawson Audios too, and yeah, I've decided as a launch, I'm gonna do a giveaway of the Odyssey LCD ones. They're the best headphones you can buy at that $400-500 bracket. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you get first dibs in order for a chance to win the Odysseys completely free. But I'm also gonna do like a full public 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 announcement about it in the next few weeks when it finally does go live. But if you do sign up for the sweepstakes right now, like what's on the screen, then you get first dibs in your emails. So I'll definitely include you guys. So yeah, it's they're awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
why don't you show them
yeah,
what it
yeah.
looks like? Yeah, yeah. These are
So these
super
are
dope
yeah, these are
headphones.
the headphones right here. Let me scroll to the
Here, let
top.
me.
Yeah, these are the headphones right here, and they're freaking awesome. You can compare them to a pair of Sennheiser 650s. So let me show you the case that it comes in, and it's super portable. They're not super delicate like all the other multi-thousand-dollar headphones that they make, but it's great for the price. For the price, what you get, it's unbelievable. Like I can't believe they're not selling these for at least like $800. So
And you have a pair of these, or you have the upgrade model,
I
right?
yeah, I have the headphones that they're based on, the Odyssey LCD X's, and those are I think they retail for about $1,700 USD. So it's like it's a step down, but it's dude, the quality is insane. You guys got to try it. I definitely recommend it. I have this buddy, Tombot. He's an audiophile. If you just type in Scam Pro Media and go check out the Odyssey LCD one, you'll land on this page, and he's got a full video review at the bottom. And it's cool because the Odyssey headphones nowadays, they come with this SonarWorks reference where it flattens the curve, so you could get the flattest frequency response from it. So yeah, look into it. And yeah, I definitely recommend you guys sign up for the newsletter and see what's up. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a fun wild ride.
Fun wild ride with Impact Sound Engineering. This definitely mastered a bunch of my music as Fan Burglar. He's done some wire stuff as well. And every time it's just top quality, good
Uh,
quality production. Um, drop Impact link. Right, got you. Let me while I do that, why don't you get Ableton open and let's get the things going with that.
yeah, just Josh is gonna hook you guys up with the link. So I have this Ableton project open, and we're gonna be mastering Sam Fox's tune together. This is a tune from this is a remix bootleg that Sam Fox did, and it's dropping tomorrow. He's got a crazy full blown music video for it too. So
I've seen it. It's fucking lit. Sam, you're lit. Lambo, you fucking on screen. You're smoked out.
So out of courtesy, I'm actually gonna start it about 45 seconds in, so you guys can listen to the full thing tomorrow. And I'm gonna be bouncing through it. I'm not gonna let the full length play, just like out of respect. But let's play this section right here. Let's play the song first, and then we'll get to mastering it together, and I'll explain all the techniques that I go through and all the steps.
Sounds good.
So,
Sounds good.
so without oh hold up, the link's still not working. What? Well, what's it called? Just type in my Instagram. It's ISE mastering. So for now, we're gonna give you guys my Instagram. So just sign up. The link is there in the description, or you could just sign up for notifications on the Instagram too, or just DM me. Let me know. I'll manually put you guys in the newsletter. Sorry about that. I barely published the website today, but yeah, let's get to this song. Yeah.
What a tune.
Yeah. What'd you guys think? Work on this. How's the mic situation now? Oh, All right. Well, we're gonna work like this, guys.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. All right. So the mastering stage for me, I break it down into 3 steps. For those unfamiliar with Ableton, you can have these little macro chains. So just picture each one of these boxes, the corrective, color, and compression. I can have different plugins in them. So in this one, the corrective stage, we're gonna start. Well, I digress. So this is how I break down mastering. First, you do a correction. Like you fix any problems that you hear, and things that the producer may have missed. And then there's the coloring stage where we add color, where we add that shine, that stuff that people look for that they didn't know that their track might have needed, or somebody sends you a track and they're like, well, do your best. Like, I got it sounding as good as I could. Like, how do I make it sound? Can you make it sound better? So this is where you go in. You can have an assortment of coloring plugins. Every track is different. And then the compression stage. This is where we get it ready for commercial loudness. It's just a matter of compression. Sometimes there's clipping. It depends. Since we're doing electronic music, it's drum and bass. It's a fucking brick. So we're gonna make this shit loud, louder than Sam can comprehend. So let's start off over here. Let's collapse the color stage and the compression stage so that we don't get confused about those. So corrective stage. So first, what I check for is phase, the stereo field. So I have this plugin right here, this little audio effect rack that I have right here. It's just a collection of analysis tools. So I have an oscilloscope, I have a single span, and I have a loudness meter. This is my favorite one. He who needs bricks. Bricks don't roll. But so I have a single span set to mid-side mode. So I'm gonna audition the song real quick. You're gonna see 2 spectrums. So the one in the back, let's go to the drop real quick. The one in the back, that's the mids, and the sides is the one under it, which is the light green. So anytime there's negative phase correlation, that's when the sides overpower the mids. So we don't want that light green ever overpowering the dark green. So right away, the first thing I notice is that Sam has all this low end information in the sides. So that's all unnecessary noise. We can clean that up. So go to the drop so you can actually see all the way down here. If you see my cursor up here, it shows the hertz range that I'm at. So I don't want any sides in the sub bass region. So I'll do a cutoff around 80 hertz. Let's actually zoom in down there, change it. So as you can see, there's all this noise. We don't want that. First thing that I'll do in my corrective state, I always put some sort of imager. So isotope works. Everybody tends to have it. So I will go in and set it so that I'm only only on the sub bass area. I can solo it. Right here, we don't have a straight line. That means there's stereo information. So we'll clean that up. And just doing that, we already saved ourselves like half a dB of volume. So we have all this extra space. Yeah, all that stuff's unnecessary. Exactly. We got rid of all that. And if you look at the fan again, back to, I'm not gonna get exact. So we got that down. Everything else seems very cohesive. Everything's cool. So the next thing I would do, I like going back and forth looking at the Ableton Spectrum Analyzer because that's what I'm used to since day one. And I noticed right away, you get the very bottom here, it shows the hertz that your cursor is over. So anything under 30 hertz is just noise. Oh yeah, let's explain. Anything under 30 hertz, like to the left, is just noise. So if you notice, we have all this noise right here, and it's over 60 decibels. So it's audible. Like, that's just going to sound like a ton of rumbling in the club. So we're going to get rid of all that real quick. So I recommend you guys get a Pro Q3. It's awesome for anything and everything. Switch it to linear phase mode. I would do about a 48 dB cut around, I always say 23 hertz. 23 hertz is perfect, because if you type in 30 hertz, you will see that the curve doesn't affect 30 hertz. So just go under it. You know, you don't want to cut off. If you're playing a C note at 30 hertz, you're cutting off that note. It's not going to hit as hard. So just do 23 hertz. So right away, you guys are going to see the difference, like when I A/B it. All that noise right here is gone. See, if I turn it off, all that noise is back. So let's go check how much dB we're actually saving. We're going to switch to Ableton Session View. So right here is the original dB. Then on the right side on the master, we're going to see how much volume we saved. So negative 4.49, and now we're at negative 4.70. We saved ourselves about 0.20 dB. So that's actually a lot, because, you know, we're at the very final stage of the song. We're mastering now. So here's a cool tip I know a lot of people don't know about, because everything we're talking about right now, these are the basics of mastering. I recommend you guys get yourself an oscilloscope. An oscilloscope gives you a real-time representation of the waveform. So I can see all the changes I'm making. I don't always have to like flatten it to audio to see what I've done. Here, let me show you an example. This is what it looks like. Let's set it to 8 bars. So if you see, I have all these extra peaks. These are just extra peaks that are escaping over the kick and snare. So they're very unnecessary. We can actually cut them all off and save a ton of headroom. So there's this plugin. I love this one. I'm going to use it as a hard clipper. It's a saturator. So what it does, it just saturates the song. So what I can do, I can set it to auto, so that as I push it up this amount, actually gets pushed back that same amount. So I don't hear an increase in volume. I only hear the change in what's happening to the song. You don't understand that. Look, let me show you. If I increase the volume on this without this, you're going to hear an increase in volume. It's just getting louder. I don't know what's going on. Like, mastering is all about gain staging. You got to make sure that you always know like what's changing, you know? If the volume's just changing, automatically you're just like, oh, it sounds bigger, it sounds better. It's like, well, what if you turn it back down to the same volume? Does it sound better now? So always make sure whatever processing you do, bring it back to the same volume so you can hear what you're doing. So let's change it to auto. You're not going to hear an increase in volume at all. So right here, this little corner right here, this is the 0 dB threshold. So once it starts going over that, it starts clipping. So that's exactly what I want to do. I want to clip off those edges, those top peaks that we were seeing in the oscilloscope that were too loud. So let's get something going.
Clips on the meter itself.
Yeah, you can see a clip on the meter. And what's cool is that in this plugin right here, oh, by the way, I definitely recommend you guys check out Eventide's Newfangled Audio suite plugins. They're freaking awesome. I've been on this for the past 3 years, and it's the go-to for like the top mastering engineers. It's just things people don't talk about, you know? Like, don't just stick to Isotope, you know, broaden your reach. But going back, over here on the left side, you can actually see the peak of the track before the plugin, and then over here you can see after it. So look at the difference in volume, how much we saved. So right here, you see that before the plugin, we were peaking at negative 5.8 dB, and now we're peaking at negative 7 dB. So we've saved like 2 decibels a dB, and it's transparent because we're just clipping off the peaks, and we're adding distortion, but it's desired distortion. It's that feel good distortion. You know, if I go overboard, it starts to sound bad. Look, check this out. See, we don't want that. We just want, yeah, exactly. We, we just want a bit. So let's do 7. And if I A/B it, if I turn it off and on right here, it's transparent. You're not gonna notice a difference. And yet, we started the song at like what, negative 4 dB, and now we're at negative 7. So, yeah, we got that down. We're almost done with the correction. Let's do a little bit of multiband. I'm listening to the mids, and I feel that we can push them a bit more so that the drums can be more present in the mix. So let's do that. There's this plugin called Fat Filter Pro Multiband.
I love using multiband.
Dude, it's the best.
The expansion and the compression, being able to control your mid sides with it too. Yeah, I'm gonna let you get into
exactly.
it. Sorry,
it's all, nah, go ahead, man.
I love the multiband. So good.
I'm reading all your comments, by the way, so feel free to chime in.
Yeah, ask questions if there's anything that you guys don't understand. We'll be more than happy to go.
So let's start from, oh shit. I actually went ahead and did a short little master before the stream, so that, you know, just to like save time and not go in blind. But I did a little bit of multiband, and I forgot to set this one back to default. But let's just dissect what I did. Let's just listen to it off and on. Just listen to the mids. Listen to how much more present the snare becomes with it. So I'm gonna start with it off. You're gonna see this little dot right here where my cursor is. That means it's off. If it turns yellow, that means it's on. So just listen to the difference. So as you can tell, the kick and snare, massively more present. It's crazy. The cool thing about Fat Filter Pro MB, that you can actually go and solo each band. So I can actually go listen to the mids and listen to what I did to them. So I could turn this off and on right here. So this is, you're just gonna listen to the mids. It's like a filter. So that's off, and then you're gonna see me turn it on. And it's the same exact volume. I'm telling you guys, it's all about gain staging. Just make sure that when you turn off the whole master chain, it sounds exactly the same volume as the mix down. That way your ears don't lie to you. So let's speaking of which, let's A/B everything that we did. So let's turn off the whole chain. Well, we're in the corrective stage, so let's turn off the corrective stage and let's turn it back on to listen to what we did. But it's all about these subtleties. We're adding all these subtleties, and they're going to eventually become a bigger picture. So right now, we're completely done with the corrective stage. Let's just save. Always save your project. You never know if it's going to crash, along with all the processing. So we fixed everything. Luckily, Sam's a good musician, and I didn't hear any peaks that hurt my ears. So we didn't have to do any cutting with an EQ. So that's great. So let's go to the coloring stage. I don't have any plugins in here, but as a mastering engineer, always mastering tracks, like I just hear, like I think I know what it needs. So I'm thinking it needs color all across. I want to make the snare and the kick and the snare shine some more. I want to maybe push the sub a bit, give it some more color, and just, yeah, let's try some things. So I'll show you guys one of my secret weapons, because everybody needs
your weapon time. Pew, pew, pew.
So isotope. Um, everybody has isotope. There's this plugin in Ozone 9 in the Exciter. It's called the Gentle High End. I've been using this. I've been using this preset since like Ozone 5. What year was that? Like what? 2012? 2013?
I think it's 12 or 13.
Hold on, let me swig this.
Pew pews in the chat. Let's go. Also, big up Circuit System hitting 600. Let's go.
Hey. All right, so go to the presets tab. There's this one called Gentle High End, and this is a multi-band exciter. It's like multi-band distortion. You can pick all these different type of distortion units, and the retro is really good for the high end. So you're right away you're gonna notice a huge difference in the high end of the song. So I'm gonna turn it off once again with the little yellow bubble. As soon as you see it turn yellow, that means it's on. So first without it, then with it. Let's go. So right away you could just tell it's making the high end just shine. Let's actually we can solo the high end to see what we did.
And you're only doing that to the high end, right? Not
Yeah,
all
this
three?
is just the high end. We're not affecting all these. As you can tell, the amount 0, 0, 0. Let's just turn it all down to 0 just to make sure. So we can actually solo this off and on. So white means off, red means on. So let's hear it without and then with. And like I said, it's all about subtlety. So anything I find when it comes to music, I treat it like cooking. If I see a recipe that says use 3 tablespoons of salt, I say I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of salt, because I can always go back and add, but I can't always go back and take out. But in music I can, but it just like doesn't streamline the process. You don't want to keep going back and taking away stuff because maybe you did compression and stuff after it. So I'm actually gonna go back and turn down this mix. It was at 60. I'm turning it down to like, I don't know. I was gonna do 30, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Nothing has to be exact.
Look at that pull out game.
8 cloves of garlic. Shit. Let's get it.
5 close.
Fucking blind, dude. All right, so we got that down. So this plugin right here, like my favorite suite of plugins are the Acoustica audio plugins. This one, the Diamond 3, is a collaboration between a Studio DMI and Acoustica Audio. It's the guy that does like all the mastering for like Nicki Minaj, Diplo, his whole label, Bieber, Daddy Yankee, just everybody, like all over the fucking music industry. And it's the only drawback is that these plugins, they'll fucking kill your CPU. Like just eat them for breakfast, like eat them in their sleep, because it's because what they're doing. Like if you check out all these plugins, like they're all what were you gonna say?
Smoke.
They're all just emulations of plugins, and these ones are actually these are the exact samples of the plugins. It's like it's an impulse response. Like it's an exact grab of the audio of the hardware. So the drawback is that it kills your CPU. So what he did, this plugin is just like it's like his master chain of his hardware units, like just a shit ton of units that amount to like tens of thousands of dollars, and he was able to resample all that and make it fit in these little knobs right here. So it's like fuck. I have like 5 figures worth of audio gear for like, I don't know. Hey Sal, how much did we buy this for? Sal's in the chat, right? I think we bought it for like $300, but they always have deals. So look into Acoustica Audio. Like I promise you, like if you want your tracks to sound good, get on this shit.
Wait, did you get it for, was it Black Friday? Was it a Black Friday deal? That's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have a Black Friday deal. But this company, they have a deal every month for one of their suites. Like I own a ton of them. So there's all these right here, and you can just sign up for the newsletter. There's always a deal, and the demos last 60 days. It's crazy. So Just be careful, because if you download a demo, you're gonna end up buying it. I promise you.
You need iLock for these?
No, you don't need iLock. It's their own. It's like their own iLock, but it's software based. You don't need none of those fucking USB. Fuck all that. Yeah, exactly. You know what's up. A Black Friday buy list? I got you, bro. Hit me up. All right. So, one thing about this plugin is, first of all, I'm gonna turn on this knob, because let's say this. If I turn this this way, it's 5 dB, right? So I don't want to do that much, because I'm mastering. So what this does, it halves it. So this is gonna be only 2.5 dB of gain. So what I'm gonna do first, I always mess with this one first, the high end, and you can decide which frequency you want to color. So what I tend to do is I just smash it. I'm gonna smash it first, and I'm gonna see which one of these sounds better. So let's get into it. So it's gonna be the 620 hertz to AK for sure. Like, I don't know, it just brought this color to the song that I didn't know it needed. So yeah, let's do. So at 12 o'clock, that means I'm not adding anything. I'm gonna do about probably this much. That's only gonna be like 2 dB a gain, and it's got this 50k boost. I don't know, it just sounds great. I put that shit on everything. I promise you, like, it's the fucking best. So it just boosts everything below 50k. And I'm gonna do a cut at 17k because we're adding so much. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm also gonna A/B, because like I know it's a little confusing. So we're gonna turn it off and on to see what we did. So I'm gonna start with the off, and then we're gonna turn it back on.
Yeah, you could really hear that difference.
Yeah, let's go to another part of the song too, so we don't get too fatigued just listening to the same part over and over. Sam sucks. But
F in the chat for Sam Fox.
All right, so we got that down, and I also said I was gonna push the low end. You can actually choose. These are fixed points, but I want to see in the spectrum analyzer what parts the sub mostly hits. So let's check that out. That's like between 50 and 60 hertz. So let's push that frequency range. So 60 to just a little bit. So let's do that. So we got the coloring stage down. Let's turn our color rack off and on so we can hear what we did. So we got that down. We got the corrective stage and the coloring stage.
I don't know if you guys can hear this difference, but I'm on high fidelity headphones, and you're on those polar headphones, or
I'm on a pair of maybe turn the camera back on first. So there's this company called Rawson Audio, and one of the founders of Odyssey, he actually went on and created his own headphone company after he left Odyssey. He created Rawson Audio. So yeah, I feel like these are the best headphones money can buy. And I even have a friend who's got a few Grammys. I got him to come in to like test them out, and he bought himself a pair right away. He's like, man, these are the best headphones. And this guy's working with like Beyonce, Bieber, Skrillex, like you name it. It's crazy.
names.
I know. But yeah, the only drawback, these are $2,600. So I mean, it's expensive, and you'll be criticized a lot for the type of gear that you have. But I mean, it's about your passion, you know? People ask like, "Oh, why are you gonna spend so much on a bed?" And it's like, well, I live at least a third of my life on it, so I might as well invest in it, right? So this is another third of my life, $2,600. So I think that's logical.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, especially if you're doing it every day and you have a company where that's literally what you're making your living off of. Like
Exactly.
that, it's an investment in your business and your future, and just the people's tunes you're mastering. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, music sounds so much better on it. Like, so much. I can't go back to normal shitty earbuds, you know? But I even saw Noisia. I think they said in an interview that like these are pretty much the equivalent of listening to like a $10,000 pair of studio monitors in a treated room. But it's like, well, if you can't treat your room, then just go all out on a pair of headphones, right?
That makes sense. Let's get back into it, my guy.
Yeah, let's get it. All right. So we're getting to the final stage now. Let's collapse the corrective and the color stage. Let's open the compression stage. So let's start compressing. So I don't have anything in here. So the first thing I would do actually, I would go check the oscilloscope, and just like the very beginning, I'm gonna check if all the correction and all the coloring added unnecessary peaks. So let's check. I do see a lot of unnecessary peaks that we can get rid of because it's drum and bass music. You know, if it's like acoustic music, you want it to be you want it to be very dynamic. But nah, Brick Wall Squad. So let's get it.
Smoke.
So what's it called? I'm gonna get saturate again. This one's pretty good. So let's change it to hard clipping and auto so that the volume doesn't increase, and let's just clip off those little clips. I'm just gonna A/B. Let's listen if the song degraded in any way. And for some reason, the added harmonics from the clipping, it just made the kick and snare brighter in a way that I want. So I'm gonna keep it that way. So we got rid of those unnecessary peaks. Let's actually go check them out. Let's see what we did. Let's A/B it. Let's see with and without. So here's the active button. I'm gonna turn it off and on. Turn it back on. Way more controlled. I don't see really too many unnecessary peaks. So, and we don't want to crush it too much because we're going to be doing that with limiters now. With limiters, instead of slicing off peaks, we're actually going to be controlling them by pulling them down. So we're going to be changing the tonal character, but just very slightly. But we don't want to distort too much. So that's pretty much that for distortion. So let's start compressing. Let's actually start using compressors. So I actually use a series of compressors. I definitely recommend you guys try this. This concept is called a series. There's a few different names for it, but I call it like series limiting. I think that's what I call it. I actually forgot.
Wow.
Serial limiting. There we go. Because you put one limiter after the other. They both have different jobs, like different attack and release settings. So what we're gonna do right here, we're gonna use Pro L2. And for electronic music, your Pro L2, the default, the true peak is gonna be on. Fuck that. Turn that shit off. You don't want that because that's gonna make your song sound duller, and it's gonna get rid of a lot of harmonics, effectively making the song sound not as loud. So it's like a low pass filter. You don't want that shit. So I'm gonna set the channel linking to like 50%. This is pretty difficult to explain what's actually going on. But the great thing about fat filter plugins is that if you hover over any control for a little too long, you see that a whole menu pops up explaining what the actual process is. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but it fucking does something and it works. So I'm actually gonna set the attack all the way up. I'm gonna turn the release like all the way down. Not exact. I don't know. I don't like to be very finite. You know, I don't like to be very exact. Anyway, so so I set the attack all the way up because I don't want the limiter affecting my transients. I don't want it to affect the very beginning of the kick and the snare. Like I want it to like push up everything, but I don't want it to like pull down the transient of the kick and the snare. So I'm only aiming for about 1 dB. The trick is never doing more than 3 dB of gain reduction on any limiter because it's just working too hard. Effectively, your song's not going to sound as good. So that's why I do serial limiting. I'm going to go on to the next limiter after that. So with Fat Filter Pro L2, I've learned from the Studio DMI guys that you shouldn't go over 1 dB of gain reduction. So I know because the newfangled, I pushed it to 6 dB. So I'm probably going to do 7 dB. That's going to be the number that shows me that's 1 dB of gain reduction. So let's do that. And it's going to start getting loud, by the way. We're going to do about 10 dB of compression in total. Actually, I'm going to try to gain stage it so that the volume doesn't increase. So we can keep a parallel sound. And at the very end, I'll put the volume at commercial volume. So one cool feature about Fat Filter Pro MB that you can actually well, fuck it. Let's just push the volume up, guys. Fuck it. You guys know how to use your volume controls if it's too loud, right? Gotta ask. All right, let's do 7 dB. Let's get it. So right here, you can see on the top right, that means there's 1 dB of gain reduction. So we push the song up 7 decibels. As you can see in the meter, look, let me show you in the meter. We're already loud as fuck. Well, we can keep going. Let's fucking keep going. So my favorite, this is my secret weapon. It's not a secret, but I've used every limiter, name it. I fucking used it, dude. I used them all. But stealth limiter, I keep coming back to this shit. Like, this is where it's at.
T-Rex?
Yeah, T-Rex, IK Multimedia. I've been on it since probably 2014, 2015.
I love the T-Rex. I was in the studio with Horge this weekend, and like literally every track, Jesus, every track, I was just like throwing something on it from fucking it's IK, right?
Yeah, IK Multimedia. Yeah. The only thing, there's 2 little things that you have to do to fine tune it. There's this infrasonic filter, and what it does is, here, let me show you right here. Let's recreate it with Pro Q3. So what it does this high pass filter at about 10 hertz. But yeah, like right here. But their algorithm, I don't know. It fucking sucks. Like, it just adds all this unnecessary volume and it just eats up this headroom. And I already did a Pro Q3 at the beginning, so we don't need that shit. So let's turn that off. On top of that, there's these intersample peak limiting controls. We don't need all that. Like, I can guess everybody in here is making electronic music. We don't need to control the peaks. Like, we're trying to be as loud as possible. Like, we want to slam our shit in the club, right? So we don't need all that. So just turn that off. On top of that, just yeah, that's about it. You have a dithering. You don't need that. You could do that in the Ableton when you're about to export.
Dithering for people who don't understand or know.
Oh yeah, dithering is this it's this very subtle noise, this high-end noise, this high-end sounding noise that plays across the entirety of the frequency band of the track. And it just you know what? I think I can turn it on. Yeah, there it is. Do you see that on the spectrum? It's actually maximized. So this is all very low noise. as you can tell right here where I have my cursor, it says negative 120 dB. You can't hear any of that. So why is dithering necessary? It's necessary because right now, as we're producing, we're working in wave format. When it comes time to compress down the audio 16-bit to be streamed across distribution like Apple Music, Spotify, the degradation, like it messes up the song. And what dithering does, it actually cleans all that out so that it's seamless. So if you're right now we're working in 32-bit, we're gonna go down to like 16-bit, so we're gonna need some dithering. So we'll do that. But then also dithering is very essential when you go even one step further and you turn your track into an MP3. So you can clearly, if you have a high fidelity pair of headphones or a treated room with some great monitors and you know your monitors, you can hear the difference between an MP3 that does and doesn't have dithering. So it's very necessary, especially because we don't really know what the fuck like Spotify and Apple Music are doing to our music when they normalize it and they change codecs and all. So make sure you dither. But for here, I'm gonna turn it off because I actually really like Ableton's triangle dithering, and that's actually Steve Duda's favorite. If you guys don't know who Steve Duda is, that's the guy that made Serum, the plugin everybody uses, everything. But Duda. so I already, so I already did 1 dB of gain reduction. Let's do 2 more. So you can tell it's kind of difficult to understand what's going on now. The song just sounds great because it's getting louder. So let's actually gain stage. Let's go into our compression, or collapse all these, and we can tell Pro L2 we did 7 dB of compression, and right here we did 2 dB. So that amounts to about 9 dB. But so we can put a utility after this right here. So we can do -9. So now we can hear the difference. If I turn this off and on, the compression stage, we're gonna be able to hear exactly what we did. So let's do that, off and on. No, we're only doing it for the compression stage, and then we're gonna A/B the entire mastering rack. So let's do that. So let's listen to it with and without. So first without, and then with. Super subtle, like no difference whatsoever. Like the kick and snare, they barely even doled out. So I would push this another dB, 2, 3. Yeah, about 350. So let's do -10. That -10. Then let's hear the difference again. So it's very transparent, everything that we did. If I started pushing the limiter anymore, the song would just start to, like, the kick and snare would just dull out. Let's try that. So the cool thing about Stealth Limiter, it's just like Fat Filter Pro L2, where I can actually control the volume. Like as I push it up, the volume goes down. So a cool rule of thumb when you're mastering your track, which I didn't try this. Slam it all the way. See what it sounds like fucked up, and then pull back till it sounds just right. And that's your sweet spot. Fucked up. I feel like we could push it all the way up to like 4 decibels. Like, why? You know? So, I mean, if you want, you could be that loud. Fuck it, why not? You could be like noisy, atheist. But Sam's original render didn't have that much compression, so let's try to keep it around where it was. So let's turn this Unity gain feature off. So it's actually back to the normal volume. So we did 3 dB. So 7 plus 3 equals 10. So right here, there's 10. So let's turn the whole chain off and on. And it's going to be the same exact volume. And let's hear what we did. Now we can go back and fine tune. I actually want to go push the highs a little bit more. So let's do that over here. Do that. I think that's about right. So let's turn off that minus 10 dB that we had. Let's wrap this up by actually seeing how loud the track is inside our loudness meter. So this plugin right here, this is your short-term LUFS. It shows you the LUFS for that, for that moment, and then the integrated LUFS is actually an average of what you're playing. It's gonna be pretty loud right now, so give you a second. Here we go. So -4 LUFS, that's pretty fucking loud, especially for electronic music. But like I said, it's drum and bass, Brick Wall Squad. So yeah, we got the final result that we wanted. So this is like a little crash course of how I would master a track. Like this is like the very basics. Like I would actually go in and start doing some like multi-band transient shaping. I would start doing some mid-side manipulation. I would start doing mid-side compression. I would start
that on my
Oh yeah,
track?
dude. Your track I had at least double the amount of plugins. And I just do it because even though it's time consuming, all my jobs are about an hour long. Like how long was this? I think this was 30 minutes if I wasn't explaining myself, right? But I would actually go in and take up the full hour and just make the track sound even better.
You about another 30 minutes. Do you want to go over my track, like some of that stuff that you did?
Dude, your track is actually very CPU intensive, so I cannot open it.
What do you mean?
Like I feel like the CPU high, but we can try.
Right.
All right, hold up. You guys are gonna see some of my previous clients because I haven't backed up my computer. I was gonna back it up before we started. Hopefully it's in here. I don't know if I backed it up or not.
Hilarious.
Oh, was I gonna say before we went to Josh's track? You guys have any questions about everything we over?
Yeah, if you got questions, ask them. Players.
We give you guys a minute. Ah, I thought you didn't want my bounce, Sam. What's up? Yeah, I'll send you the bounce. I got you, brother. But yeah, let's try to open Josh's track. No, I'm not gonna bounce your track right now, dude. We're in the middle of a fucking presentation. All right, this project's gonna take a little minute to load because there's a lot going on. But what's it called? Oh, there it is.
There she blows, brother.
So, this is my usual template. I have D track, and I also have a reference. So this was Josh's original track. This was the master chain for it. There's a lot going on. Let's condense it down a bit. So I did a little bit of hard clipping, just slicing off the very peaks, and the order is never the same. Order is never the same. Like I started off stereo imaging on the last one. This time I did hard clipping, then I did stereo imaging.
And why did you do that? Was there something in my pre-master or?
I just felt that the check this out. Look, your track is too dynamic. See that?
Yeah.
Like the crest called the crest factor. The relationship between the smallest peak and the highest peak was too much. So I just sliced off all the tops. That was my goal right there. So I did that, and then I did some stereo imaging control, which I guess I didn't. There's nothing going on here. So let's and what? Oh, the correction. So what did I do? Oh, let's listen to Josh's track for a bit. Actually, do it right. See, it's fucking a lot going on. Like I told you guys, the acoustical audio plugins, they just eat up your CPU. Like if I have any more than 3 of them, I'm fucking dead.
Well, why don't you take off some of
Yeah, let's do
that
that.
stuff so that you can go like the hard clipping and like some of the other stuff that you were talking about that you didn't do Sam's
Yeah.
track.
Okay, so let's see in the correction state. I added a little bit of coloring in here where I started actually correcting. I caught a little bit of the peaks, some some compression with the glue. Let's go listen to the drop. Not catching anything right now, but I'm sure it was catching something somewhere else. But or it was probably on it. I didn't see EQ. I just did a bandpass EQ, control the lows and the highs. And then also what I did was I did some multiband just like in the last track. Then what I started here, I did some uh full band compression. So over here, so this compressor is like a little menacing, but it's just look at the left side. Don't worry about all this shit. So this is the threshold, and this is the gain reduction meter, and then the type of compressor over here, and then the ratio, and then right here is the gain. The gain kind of sucks, so I just use Ableton. But yeah, you can see I'm doing about 1 dB of compression. But look, the attack's all the way up, so I'm not affecting the transients at all. I'm bringing up everything except for the kick and the snare. It's very subtle, but like I originally said, all these subtleties they add up. So that's what I did in there, the correction stage. I just kind of tried to slam it. So, there's a smaller crest factor. That's what I did in there in the correction stage. So then there's the coloring stage. I went fucking all out right here. So I did the exciter just a little bit. I did a little bit of diamond. Oh, I even turned on the preamp. Like that just adds a whole different color to the song. Like it really does make a difference. So I mean, if there's anything you can get out of this whole presentation, like you guys need to go demo this plugin. The fucking best, especially on vocals. Like, why use 10 plugins when you could just use Diamond? You know? And then on top of that, if you guys know Dave Pensato, is it Dave Pensato, the Dave Pensato EQ? Like this one is based on over $100,000 worth of hardware. He just resampled it with acoustic audio, Studio DMI, and created this plugin. I'm just using it to boost a little bit of the highs. I did a ton of fucking low boosting because Josh was missing a lot of sub in that region. And then also the Aaron I pushed the did I do? Yeah, I pushed the mids a bit. No, the lows. 100 hertz. And yeah, it's all just coloring, I'm just adding what I thought he was. So I did all that. And then there's this cool plugin, the Coral Baxter EQ. And what it does, it's like a shelf. Look, let me show you. Sec. Pro Q3. What I'm doing here, it's like a shelf where high shelf, but only on the sides. So I'm boosting the sides on his track. You guys should try that. try boosting the sides on your tracks. Like, it makes a huge difference. Just, you know, make sure use a plugin like Flexangle Span and make sure you're not fucking up the phase correlation of your track. You're just asking for trouble, right? But there's that. So that's the coloring stage. And the compression stage, this one I went all out because Josh just needed to be pushed really loud, and it was hard to, I don't know, this certain track was hard to do. But I did this is a multi-band transient shaper. It's part of the newfangled audio suite that I was telling you guys about. I think it's only like 150 max. So I was just pushing the transients a bit. This actually boosts the volume of the kicks and the snares. So there's a whole bunch of transient shapers out there, but this is a 26 band transient shaper. So I can pick which bands I actually want to increase. So I did that. I did a little bit of boosting. I limited the low end, give it even more lows. Then I did Pro L2, same concept as last time. I did a little bit of soft clipping in between with the newfangled saturate, stealth limiter at the end. And yeah, let's actually after. So this is what it was. You can't really tell the difference, but as you can tell right here on the utility tool, I actually boosted this track by 15.5 decibels. Yeah, my CPU is dying with this. But my aim was transparency. Like, I wanted to keep exactly what Josh sent me, but I wanted to be at commercial volume. So that's exactly what I achieved.
Now,
it took a minute, but I did.
Does that have anything to do with like remaster that I sent you? Like mine being like, I usually tend to have it anywhere between like -7 to -6.5, and I noticed that Sam's was already starting at like, was it -4?
Well, the problem, I'll tell you exactly the problem. It didn't have anything to do with that. It's your drums. They're super thin. Like, they just need a ton of more layering. You know, like, you needed to round it out with some mids, some lows. Like these were it's the style you were aiming for. You know, it's completely normal, but I just unlike Sam's drums, like, they're fucking loud, you know, and they're punchy and they're fat. But these, you were just aiming for a certain style, and you know, I wanted to help you get to that commercial volume, and that's what I did. I got you as loud as Enai. That was the reference track. That's the ripped it from. Definitely recommend. Don't pirate your music, guys.
Smoke.
But yeah, every master is different. I'm sure you guys learned a lot. Take some screenshots. Like I'm not really revealing any secrets because you can't use this chain for every track. Every track is different. The processing will always be different. But like I said at the very beginning, corrective, coloring, and compression. You know, just don't just gamble. Just throw shit out there. Don't make it a mess. You know, like, stage yourself. Like, there's different parts to the story. You know.
Don't gamble unless you're gambling in the chat circuit system, y'all.
But yeah, that's mastering. It's a pretty fun concept. Like I said, I've been doing it over 5 years. Maybe you master your own music. You wanted to come here to learn some techniques, and even if you are a mastering engineer and you master your own songs, I definitely recommend you try sending your tracks to other established engineers, because they might hear things that you don't hear. They'll probably make it sound better. You never know. I had this band that sent me this track and it just sounded really muffled, and I just, like, I did a dip at 80 hertz and the song just came to life, and they don't know what I did, but fucking did it, and I got paid. Shit.
Get paid, get laid, brother.
But yeah, any questions? That's about it for my lesson.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. We can go over something again if need be. You guys have a little bit to roll through questions if you guys got anything. Don't be scared. It's just Richie and me.
Scared.
But yeah, I guess if no one has any questions, we'll start to wrap things up. If you want to plug in some of your socials and stuff like that, so people can give you a
Yeah, yeah.
follow.
Let's
If you want to pull it up.
so
Yeah.
this is my website. If you guys tune in late, um I've been a mastering engineer for over 5 years now. It's all been through word of mouth, and I feel I've gotten to the point where I have a very established roster clientele. So I want to start pushing it out and making this a full fledged business. For now, this is only my landing page, Impact Sound Engineering. Um, because I'm still working out the logistics. I'm doing this all by myself, building up the website, but I'm gonna have testimonials, everything in the next few weeks, and some incentive to just to get the ball rolling. I'm actually gonna do a giveaway for a pair of Odyssey headphones, and if you go to the website, you can sign up right here to be the first to know in the next few weeks when the sweepstakes goes live. And if you didn't see at the very beginning, these are actually the headphones right here. They are they're only it's crazy. These headphones should retail for at least $800, but they retail for 400, and they're like a strip back version of the Odyssey LCDXs, which I believe retail for like $1,700. I actually own a pair, and a lot of audiophiles will tell you that this is great. Like they're very sturdy. They're not as heavy, and they come with a travel case. They can fit in any backpack. Using a shitty JanSport, go for it. This shit can take a beating. Got got a clamshell case. Like, definitely recommend it. I'm a big fan of Odyssey since I first heard of them a few years back. If you have time, I recommend you go Google Scan Pro Audio. Type in Scan Pro Audio Odyssey LCD1, and my buddy right here, Tombot, is a huge headphone audiophile. He'll give you a full-fledged breakdown of the Odyssey LCD ones versus the I think the Sennheiser HD 650, which or 660s. I don't know. They're very popular, and they've always been. But these just beat them at this price point. It's insane, and it's cool because Odyssey also comes with their own software to correct the frequency curve to make the song. I mean, to make the headphones sound very flat, like as they're supposed to be. The frequency response. So yeah, if you guys can, I definitely recommend you go sign up. And I don't know, maybe we can build a dialogue, and I'll master your tracks too. Let me know what you guys think. I actually don't charge until the job is done. So if you're not fully satisfied with the job, then cool, like that's business, but I offer that. I offer that because my job, like I do a very good fucking job, man. They
Yeah,
always come
brother.
back. But I also have my Instagram. It's ice mat Instagram.com/ice mastering. So I just made the page today. You guys can go sign up and do push notifications, and just know in the next few weeks when the giveaway goes live. It's gonna be completely free, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of chances to win. You could do like you get points for signing up for certain newsletters or like following me on certain social media. And so yeah, give it a shot. Let me know. Let me know if you DM me wherever you want. You can email me. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that sounds good, guys. I think we're gonna wrap this up. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I hope you found it, very informative. This was our first production tutorial on plugged in with wires. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. We're definitely gonna be doing a lot more. Um, yeah. What is that? We dropped them.
Okay,
Number
cool.
three. So yeah. Our next episode is going to be on the 15th. We got No Man's, aka Gabriel Habit and Zir. Those are the boys. We got them on. If you are wanting to tune in to some more circuit system stuff, later tonight at midnight, we got our boy Samtrix playing for Backcountry for the Burning Man stream. And then tomorrow night, we got the Future Takeover for pretty much from 7 to midnight. We got a bunch of circuit system homies playing. Also on with Broken Beat San Diego on their Twitch account. We're gonna be streaming on there. Then Thursday we got Mr. Ruxpin. Friday Dem Ones and two sets from Austin. And then Saturday morning, 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., you got Horge and myself playing sets. So lot going on with Circuit System. So make sure you guys tune in, have fun, be safe, and let's fucking get it, yo. Have a good night.